Yo, it's CJ Insane, and he's back with another video. Woo! And the concept for today is life is about matchups. Right? So this is the third video in a row. Previously I made two longer videos. You know, they might have been more interesting. I don't know. It's up to you. But I feel like this is probably my best topic right here. Okay, for starters, let's just break it down from a generalist perspective, right? In this world, you are one of 7 billion humans, 7.8 billion humans. You are one of like hundreds of billions of trillions of living organisms on the planet. Your planet is one of 9 planets, one of 8 planets in the solar system. Your solar system is one of billions of solar systems in this galaxy. Your galaxy is one of billions of galaxies in this quadrant or in this cluster, Virgo cluster. And this cluster or nebula or whatever you want to call it is one of billions of those throughout the entire known universe. And the known universe is like an infinitesimal portion of the size of the actual universe, right? So we just jump levels from you and me to like the universe itself, right? To existence itself. And God is beyond even the universe itself. That is unfathomably large, incomprehensible. But let's dial it back down. The point is that as you can see, you are not alone. We are not alone. Okay, maybe as far as like extraterrestrial life, but on this planet, we are not alone. You know, we grew up with lions and tigers and bears and all that other stuff, right? All them other animals, you know, so we had to compete with them. It was player versus player. It was a matchup, right? In the original matchup, whatever you want to believe. Let's say in the Bible, right? Earth is like 6,600 years old, right? Our first matchup was with, Adam and Eve, right? Man versus woman. And then man and woman versus the devil in the form of a talking snake, right? So that was a matchup right there. We had to beat the snake, or the snake beat us. However you want to write the story. Now, if you're not religious, if you want to go with what the textbooks say, right? The first matchups were organisms, cells versus other cells that ate other cells. So cells is already competing from the dawn of humanity, right? You know, so with cells eating other cells, cells develop, cells become better, and iron sharpens iron, which created, the first organisms, which created algae and bacteria, and prokaryotes, which created eukaryotes, which created, multicellular organisms, which eventually led to like ants and like sea creatures and like sea moths and freaking plants and greens and then rodents and then dinosaurs and lions and tigers and crocodiles and bears and fishes and sharks and all of that stuff and humans. Eventually, it led to whatever predated us, whatever you want to call the common ancestor, it led to them, which led to us and led to the birth of humanity, right? Billions of years and millions of years of evolution. Life was born and life died. Everything killed each other. Everything was a fight to survival. The weakest perished and the strongest survived. And that's how it always was. The species that was too weak to cope with the environment, that was too weak to cope with the settings of the video game, got exterminated, got deleted out of the game. And the ones that could adapt changed and adapted to the circumstances of the video game to fit the meta. And as a result, humans eventually
came out of that and became the ultimate species of the video game. Up to this point, we are unchallenged.
We're not the fastest. We're not the strongest. We're not, the most physically imposing animal out there. Like in a 1v1 without our intelligence, without weapons and stuff, we would get creamed. We would get toast by like any of the animals that are like over 100 pounds, right? We would get slaughtered. However, because we had the brains to think beyond the surface level of nature and beyond the surface levels of the game to unlock higher levels, we were able to kind of wear our way through the cobwebs of being inferior to other creatures and able to harness our natural gifts in order to take over the world. To use our thumbs and hands to pick up sticks and stab them in other animals' butts and kill them and eat them and create fire, because we saw lightning hit the ground and fire and sticks and wood. We figured it out. We figured out the elements of nature to help us prosper as a society. The point is that with our matchup with other animals and our matchup with nature itself, we were able to win. We beat other humans. We had other human species, Cro-Magnons, Neanderthals, Denisovans, the giant people of the Bible. Goliath, David versus Goliath is a matchup. God versus devil is a matchup. Black people versus white people is a matchup. In human history, in animal history, in life, in existence, and as far as we know, in existential history, there was always a clash between two parties. It was always about matchup. We won against the animals. We won against other contemporary species. And we got to the point where the only matchup between humans is basically us versus us, right? That's why they have race wars, and now we have gender wars and all that stuff. As a result, what I'm trying to say is that, life is a competition. People would say that life is not a competition, or people would like to say that I'm, radical, or that I'm crazy, or that, I'm thinking too hard, or that like life is more than a competition and stuff like that. And I mean, it is, but it's not. Because at the end of the day, you are competing for resources. Every time you go to school, you're competing against the other guy in the classroom. When you want a job from a particular spot, you're competing against all of the applicants. When you want, that female, when you want anything, really, you want that car, you're competing against the other buyer. You're competing against the best seller. You're competing against the best other candidates for whatever it is you want. Some things have low competition. Like some things you could just go pluck off, like just go get it like randomly. Like you could go pluck, if you want to compete for some grass or something, like you go get some grass right now for free. You go like rip some grass or something like that. But if you want something of value, it's a competition. You want that carcass. You want that, that big old feast. You want that mammoth. You want that elephant hide. You want the tusks. You want this and that. You want that, that lion fur. You want that mane. You want the pelt. You want all of that stuff, right? You want the money. You want the bread. You want the prestige. All of that stuff is competition. It's you against everybody else, bruh. It's you against the world.
And it's better if you have a team, but even then, you push came to shove, you and your team was also competing with each other. But it's better to compete with each other to also, help each other get better, so that when y'all go out as a unit, you can dominate the field.
It's not just a football field. It's not just a basketball court or the tennis court or anything you want to call it. It's a field. There's a field. It's called the field of studies. In my perspective, field, biology, business, math, science, technology, engineering, security, fields, logistics, truck driving. Everything is a competition. The bad businesses, the bad species, everything that was weak got snuffed.
Now you listen to me. What happens to this planet is none of my concern. The strongest will find a way to survive, and the weaklings shall perish.
Everybody has a chance. Everybody is going to make it. Everybody can be whatever they want. Everybody can do that.
The key word is can. You can do it. Everybody can do it. That doesn't mean everybody will do it. Everybody could. In theory, everybody could, but not everybody can, because only the 1% wins. The other 99% has to default to something else. And even then, when you default to something else, you're still competing. And you got to hold that spot. Even if you win, even if you beat out, the other people that's next to you, you still got to keep winning. You got to keep winning. You got to hold your spot. The NFL is just a microcosm of the world. Ball is life, literally. The NBA, any major league sport, look at it. The people that stay in their spots are consistently great. And if they stop producing, it doesn't matter who you are. At some point, you're getting cut. And obviously the longer you play, the better you are, the more Hall of Fame case you have. The longer your prestige lasts, the longer, the better credit you have. It builds up, obviously. But at the same time, though, still, even LeBron James, okay, maybe not LeBron James because he beat the case, but Westbrook's a Hall of Famer. But because he had a terrible season last season with the Lakers, and he kind of, people are starting to see the light on his impact on the game. Less and less people are more inclined to pay him top dollar. And at some point, people are talking about him not staying in the league anymore. Obviously, I can't speak on that because Westbrook is a pro athlete. I'm not. He's better than me at basketball. I will probably never be better than Westbrook at basketball. Probably 99.999% chance I'm not going to be better than Westbrook. And I never will be. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Westbrook is a Hall of Famer. He's great. Please don't attack me if you see this video. I'm not trying to offend you. I did not say anything bad. I'm just saying, in general, I'm just using you as an example. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brody. Why not? But yeah, the point is that you got to keep reducing. You got to keep winning. Life is about matchups. Now let's go to one more aspect of matchups, right? The highly contested thing about, like I said, gender wars, men and women. To the dawn of time, it's always been a power struggle between the male and female species, like who deserves what privilege, what should the other gender be afforded, what is the other gender not doing for this gender, who has the power, who has the leverage. Up until like the 19th century, up until like the 20th century, men have completely dominated the power scheme for the most part, except that, the queen maybe had more power than like, the average man or something like that, or the jack. But the queen always submitted to the king. The king ran the show. The king always had the power. The queen, women obviously, they run society in that without them, we don't exist because they give birth. But at the same time, men still ran it because they were more powerful physically. They had more control because they were more imposing in general than women. And that's how the natural order is. Men are biologically supposed to be stronger and more dominant than women. That's what we do. That's the nature. But at the same time, in coming decades and coming starting in the 20th century, in the 1900s, women empowerment just started growing and percolating. And to the point where in 2022, now it's just, women have more power than ever before. They have more privilege than ever before. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not hating. Please do not cancel me. Do not kill me. And if you do, I don't give a fuck. But anyways, they have more ability than ever before. Take it for better or worse, and especially in the dating game, right? With dating apps, Tinder, all that other stuff. I don't use Tinder. I don't use anything other than like Instagram, which is mainly for business anyway. So I don't really know what they be on in Tinder and Omegle, all that other stuff, because I never used it. I never bought it. I never will. But the point is that online dating has dominated the scene and is giving women more power than ever before to kind of just swipe on men left or right, whoever they want. And obviously the women have that power, that thing that got power. They had that. Men don't. As a result, women have the prize per se, as far as like the interaction between a man and a woman, and they are the choosers. Ultimately, it doesn't matter like what that man does.
He's not supposed to force himself onto a woman. That's what we call society. And if he does, then he's a piece of trash.
Even then, man versus woman, it's about matchups. Like, do you match up to her standard? Do you match up to the level that she's on? Like, are you above her Are you above her status? Can you make her feel like she's with somebody that's like better than her? Can you make her feel like she's with somebody that's worthy, that she's with somebody that's validated by the world, that she's with somebody she can show off like a trophy, that she's with somebody that she can go home and brag about, that her parents will be proud of, that she thinks that she and everybody else around her will be proud of? Because a lot of people are motivated by external validation. And as a result, it's not only enough to meet her standard, it's also you have to meet her parents' standard, her friend's standard, everybody that's around her, their whole collective standards, because she's trying to appeal not only to herself but to other people around through that validation, that dopamine, because dopamine runs Generation Z. So dopamine runs the world right now. Clearly gratification, it runs the world. Sin runs the world. It's what we do. It's what we love. So all I'm saying is, even women, it's a matchup. Like, do you match up with her? Do you match up in looks? Do you match up in money? Is her bag better than yours? Do you have other attributes that can alleviate that? How good do you match up? Are you a bad matchup? Can you match up? All of that stuff matters. It's conducive to everything. And yeah, beyond that, like I said, everything else, every field of life is a matchup. It's a competition. You got to go to the drawing board. You got to get in that gym. You got to, do certain things to win. You have to do what it takes to win. And it's getting harder and harder because more and more people are coming into the battlefield every day. As the population grows, you got more competitors. I read an article today that said just like 2.7 billion people that are in my generation, which is from 1996 to like 2009 or something like that, you know, which is Generation Z. So we're fighting them. We're fighting 2.7 billion of us, and then not to mention the generation after that, Generation Alpha, which is coming up, or the millennials that are young, that are still in the game, that are still like 27 to 28. You know, we still fighting them too. So it's a dog fight right now. It's a competition. It's a matchup. You know, can I beat you? Are you better than me? You're not better than me. You will never be better than me. I'm always better than you. No matter what you do, man, I'm better than you. Damn. I guess I'm the best at it. Let's just go on purpose so the loss will be less tragic. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm better than you. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to start watching some like competition. I need y'all to start watching some Michael Jordan, some Kobe Bryant, some Mike Tyson speech, some I am the best ever. There's no one that can stop me. He know Alexander. I'm Alexander. I'm the best ever. You know, my style is impregnable. Stuff like that. You need to start watching that stuff. You need to get yourself, get that spark in you to be the best. And if all of that best version of yourself, the best version of yourself, sometimes this doesn't work. You just need to be better than the competition. You need to be better in the field. You need to dominate. And if that means being the best version of yourself, my bad. To accomplish that stuff, then do that. But you have to win. Losing is not an option. Living your life in mediocrity, you can if you want to. If you want to delete yourself, if you want to do all that other stuff, you know, that's in your power. But for me and for like other people that think like me, losing is not an option. We're not here to lose. We're not trying to lose. We're never trying to lose. And yeah, so just be cognizant. Life is a matchup. Everything is a matchup. You match up with people on the court. You match up in sports and not in sports. That's why they say ball is life. That's why coaches made you run suicides and made you run up them hills and do walls in the dirt and stuff like that. Because you're going to have to do stuff you don't want to do to be better. But it's all good, you know, because if you don't want to be better, I'll take your spot. And I'm going to keep taking your spot. And I'm going to keep maintaining my spot because you're not going to be a threat. Because I'm going to be at a level so high that you'll never catch up. Because I'm going to the top. You're going to come with me. You're going to race with me. You're going to run with me. You're going to push me to do better. Or you just going to stay right there and fold. You're going to stay with your shiesty mask. You're going to stay, you know, smoking Zaza and stay in the hood and not do much with your life. You know, it's up to you. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. I don't care. I'm just saying, it's a matchup. You're not going to beat me. You'll never beat me. I ain't going to let you beat me. I don't give a damn what the sport is. I don't give a damn what the occasion is. I'm not going to let you win. Not without giving it everything I got. It's simple. And if you beat me, I'm going to come back stronger in like a couple of days. And we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again until I win. And that's it. So it's been EJ Insane. I know this actually went longer than it was. But like I said, it was my favorite topic to talk about because it is a matchup. And we all fighting. We all dogs out here. You know, nobody's really in your best interest. We all dogs. We all trying to make it. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video. And we out.